My name is Kristen O'Hare. I'm the Director of Interpretation at Pajarito Environmental Education Center, or PEAK, located in Los Alamos, New Mexico. I will be moderator for tonight's talk. PEAK is hi there. PEAK is a nonprofit that operates the Los Alamos Nature Center. Visit our website, pecnature.org, to learn more about visiting the Nature Center or for our upcoming events. I'd like to take a second to give a special shout out to PEAK's wonderful members, volunteers, and donors. Without you, we would not be able to do anything we do. So thank you so much. To become a PEAK member or donor or volunteer, please visit peaknature.org if you are interested. Okay, just for a few logistics before I get started, Erwin, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a hybrid presentation, meaning that folks are in the room with me at PEAK in the planetarium and also over Zoom. So for those on Zoom, please note that you will not be able to see our presenter this evening, just their slides. For questions, our presenter will be taking questions via Zoom chat or in person from the audience. For Zoom, please click the chat icon and type your questions into the chat window, and I will relay them to Erwin at the end of his talk. Okay, so for those of you on Zoom, there may be a slight delay while we were listening to questions in the room. Don't worry, we'll be back in a second and try our very best to repeat questions that were asked from the audience in person. For some reason, if we do not repeat a question, we are only human after all, please gently remind us on Zoom chat. After this talk, everyone signed up will receive a short evaluation. Please take a moment to fill out that evaluation. It helps us improve our future programs. All right, so a bit about our presenter before we get started. Erwin Lopez Osorio is Bandelier's International Banding Intern for the Fish and Feathers program this year. He is from Oaxaca, Mexico. Erwin is a biologist and holds a master's degree in conservation and the use of natural resources. He's promoted bird watching and bird festivals in Mexico and has been bird banding since 2016. Erwin, I'm going to pass it over to you and you can go ahead and get started. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. And hello, everyone in the room and also by Zoom. Yeah, uh, as Kristen said, I'm working at Bandelier National Monument through a new internship program, which is a partnership between Environment for the Americas and the National Park Service. Thus, I work mainly with two groups, birds and fish. Yeah, and our topic today is about native fish, non-native fish, and um, some efforts to recover fish populations at this park. So, to begin, what is a native species? It is any organism that lives in a specific place due to natural process. For example, due to evolution or historic distribution. These native species are also known as indigenous species, and many of them are also can be endemic to a state, a region, or a country. Now, in this slide, I'm sharing some native fish in New Mexico. The first is Rio Grande chop. The second is Rio Grande cutthroat trout, which is considered the state fish of New Mexico. And the last one is Rio Grande sucker. All of them are present right now at Bandelier due to a recent introductions. Yeah. Now, what is an introduced species or non-indigenous species? It is any organism released in a place where it is not distributed. And when This organism colonize successfully these new areas and becomes common, they are considered invasive. And invasive species uh, nowadays represent a big problem because they compete, prey on, and hybridize with native species. Um, Hybridization is a phenomenon which occur only among related species, and this offspring is infertile, most usually, yeah, usually. Okay, other problems with invasive species is that they transmit diseases, alter ecosystems, and of course cause economic impacts. And now, how are they released? The main reason is by human actions, um, of different ways. For example, in the case of fishes, they can may escape due to incorrect hatchery management, by accidents, um, translocating an species from one country to other country, and uh, of course, just for lack of knowledge, um, many people um, usually release aquarium fishes in rivers or inclusive into the ocean, uh, and now some species like this lionfish uh, represent a great concern um, in coral reefs. Now in this slide, I'm sharing some invasive fish in New Mexico. Uh, their names are rainbow, brown, and brook trout. Um, all of them uh, um, are are also present um, at Bandelier. And actually, this species has been introduced in different countries because are good specimens for sport fishing, and also uh, are raised as food. However, um, rainbow and brown trout are considered some of the world's invasive species um, in the world. Now, how many fishes are in Bandelier National Monument? Um, Scientists have reported a total of 19 species, um, but most of them are are present only in Rio Grande. This stream cross along a boundary in Bandelier. On the other hand, just 4 species uh, have been reported at the tributary streams of Bandelier, which are known as frijoles and Capulin Creek. And the species reported are these. So as you can see, we have three invasive species and one native fish. And what is the story with this fish? Well, people uh, introduced these all these species in early 1900s to promote the fishing in this park without consider consequences. Yeah. Okay. Now, Now, this is a map um, where is represented the boundaries of Bandelier. Um, so, uh, um, as you can see in the yellow arrow is located Rio Grande, and um, the red arrows shows show Frijoles Creek, which cross along the visitor center right there, and the other creek is right right there, uh, and it's called Capulin. Yeah, that rivers are are perennials, and also both flows into Rio Grande. This is the complete list of the document fish in Bandelier. Uh, Only that right now we can add this other species, Rio Grande sucker, because it was uh, introduced this month at the park. So we have uh, currently 20 species, 10 native and 10 non-native. And here in red color is indicated the species of greatest conservation need, and this category is designated to Rio Grande chop and Rio Grande soccer. Unfortunately, all all fish in the tributary streams of Bandelier were extirpated due to a combination of phenomenons, fires and floods over the years. Um, but the most the biggest fire was Las Conchas in 2011. And regarding floods, Bandelier faced a strong flood in the same year, 2011, and another in 2013. Thus, since 2013, um, all fish populations were extirpated uh, in this park. And after several years without fish presence at these creeks, marine biologists and the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish started a new reintroduction program for Rio Grande cutthroat trout. These events took place first in 2018 and 2019, where they reintroduced this amount of trouts in Frijoles Creek. And 1 year later, they again reintroduced more trouts, but in Capulin Creek. And this month, we made a new fish introduction. It event took place on October 5th, and that day we collected Rio Grande chop and Rio Grande sucker from James River in Santa Fe National Forest, and translocate them to Bandelier to release in a in a place um, known as Beaver Ponds, in located in Frijoles Creek. We move them through some buckets and bags, and but it's important to indicate that this is an introduction and not a reintroduction, because the historic um, presence of this fish in tributary streams of Bandelier is uncertain. Rio Grande chop lives in Rio Grande, uh, but just in the mainstream. And Rio Grande soccer um, live live in uplands, uh, um, um, basically valleys at valleys Caldera and James Mountains. Finally, the post-reintroduction activities. Um, to evaluate if if these if these releases are successful, biologists need to do electrofishing surveys. This method um, is performed only by trained personnel from the New Mexico game and fish, and they started um, uh, an evaluation since 2020 in Frijoles Creek to evaluate the fish population, the reintroduction, sorry, of Rio Grande cutthroat trout. And the same team um, will they will do next year with this new species, Rio Grande chop and Rio Grande soccer. Other important activities consist of perform water quality testing and macroinvertebrate surveys because native fish are vulnerable to certain environmental changes, uh, and most of them uh, have specific diets. If if these releases um, uh, are are good, recreational fishing will be reopened in Bandelier, but now they will prevent the reintroduction of invasive fish. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a couple questions that I wrote down while we're waiting for the audience, unless the audience has some questions. Cool. So just a rudimentary question that I know, but other people might not know. You had the picture of the lionfish. What
Yeah.
what is the impact of the lionfish?
Lionfish. Yeah. Lionfish is a predator of many smaller fishes. Um, and also they bred and make offspring uh, very fast. So right now it's a problem in tropical places, and yeah, and mainly it is impacting or affecting um, uh, fishes that live in coral reefs.
Okay, so they breed really quickly and then they eat everything. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and they initially were aquarium fishes. Oh
I'm
yeah,
just going to
good
repeat.
question.
So it's a follow-up question to the lionfish for those online.
Mhm.
The question is, do they have any natural predators?
Oh yeah, that is another characteristic of invasive species. That is that in these new places they colonize. They don't have predators. For the reason they are abundant. Yeah, in this case, this fish is poisonous, inclusive for us. Mhm.
So the question in the room is whether non-native trout are hybridizing with native species,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, Rio Grande culture trout may hybridize uh, with this other invasive species. Yeah, but the fish reintroduced were were selected, yeah, especially by the New Mexico Game and Fish to avoid um, hybrids there, and also uh, some sick specimens.
Okay, so there's a couple questions coming in online. Our Lisa is asking, are the water quality monitoring results available online?
Oh, no, unfortunately, no, we don't have that data online.
Oh,
Yeah, but biologists um, have have, have evaluated the that parameters since 2013. Yeah, and they consider that um, in 2018, uh, uh, these streams that since that year, these streams have a good condition to to receive a new fish populations.
um, she says thank you. Will the non-native species be eliminated?
Then no, then
Will they be killed, the non-natives?
I'd only say that, but yes, yeah. Um, Part of the world at some streams here in United States consists of kill invasive fish. Um, with that technique of the electrofishing, just collect and remove from the water. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I participate in in one of that surveys. Are called health surveys. Health surveys. Mhm.
Do
Yeah,
you remove certain fish like carp over other ones, or all non-natives?
all non-natives. Yeah.
I do have a question. Why are the rainbow and browns considered some of the most invasive fish in the world? Why?
Oh yeah, because that species are distributed worldwide. And in the case of brook trout, um, that species or is native of the east coast uh, of of North America. Uh, yeah, its distribution is around the world is less. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, but these other yeah are basically in all the world. um, of course, they impact in many ways in that places. Yeah, as predators or dispersing diseases
Okay, question about the releases. Why did they choose Frijoles Canyon first?
for their releases. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, Capulin Creek is a more seasonal creek. Uh, those Capulin Creek is bigger. Yeah, and for the reason uh, that that stream can sustain more fish.
Okay, so you may have answered this in your presentation, so I apologize. But where did the reintroduced fish come from?
Again, please.
Where did the reintroduced fish, the species that you reintroduced into the creeks,
Uh-huh.
where did those come from?
Okay, yeah, good question. In the case of Rio Grande Cutthroat, I don't have the data. Yeah, uh, but these new fishes, are from James River. Mhm. Previously, uh, biologists evaluate the presence of some diseases. Yeah, and all of them are clean. Yeah, those we took from there.
Okay, last question that came in online. so there was a whole that list of fish species that
Uh-huh.
you showed.
Yeah.
The non-native fish, many of those are not trout. Did those get introduced because of sport fishing as well, or was there another reason they were introduced into the area?
Mm. The native or the non-native?
The non-native.
Oh yeah, yeah. The main reason of those reintroductions were uh, by fishing. Yeah, yeah. The that species or more of these species are excellent game fish, easy to catch, and also are food.
Except for carp. Ugh.
Yeah.
So the question is, did
Okay. Yeah.
some of the non-natives come up from the Rio Grande during the flood period time?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. During the flood period of time, just these species were extirpated from the tributary streams. Yeah, yeah. In Rio Grande, we can find these species, but Bandelier can 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 work in Rio Grande. Um, I don't know the rules uh, about that. Yeah, but yes, some of these fish can go go up to mainly to Frijoles Creek, uh, but they can jump until the visitor center or because Frijoles Creek has a couple of falls in the place known as Fall Street. Yeah, yeah. The the that those falls represent a barrier. Yeah, for some of these non-native fish. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That is the idea. Uh, keep keep away from non-native fish.
Awesome. So unless anyone else has any questions in the room, those were, I believe, all the questions that we had. So awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Erwin, for like
cool.
sharing your knowledge. That was amazing. Round of applause again. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you
Okay, and thank you for everyone in the room for coming to join
for
us for this
coming
talk and
today.
everyone online. If you're interested in more talks with Peak, we have Symphony of Black Holes coming up this Friday at 7 p.m. Again, thank you so much. Fill out those evaluation forms if you can. And we'll see you next time. Have a great evening. Bye.